Hi folks, I'm Doug at Dizzy Lizzie's, and today I'm going to show you how to install the crankshaft that goes onto these machines. Gear housing, part number 4243 640 0535, and all the other little bits and pieces that are involved with it. Now, when you open the bag up, you have the gear head, you have a metal banding, you then have a washer, 2 screws, a grease plug, a spring, don't know how to call that, securing plug, a washer and a circlip. And what it is, you've got this handle here, which on the other machines is what you pull out and it goes into a slotted band and holds the head at whatever angle you've decided to work at. So what I'll do is, this assembles, you have this washer here, or bolt with a hole through it, which goes through there like that, and there's a recess for it to sit flush. There's also some gunk in the threads which will lock it. You then have the spring which goes over the top. You then have the washer which goes over the top of the spring, and then you'll have fun and games trying to put this clip on, which I'll do off camera because it will probably take me a little while. Right, after you've assembled this, it goes into this pot here. Now I've put a little bit of grease in it, and you just turn it around until it locks off, and then you use an 8mm spanner just to nip it up. Now I've put some grease in here to help it seize up and move later on, but that's what it should look like. The next thing is a metal band. Now this metal band, if you can see it, has a certain shape. It's got a, can you see that? It's got that kink, and these only go one way round. That kink goes into this hole here, and it's a little bit fiddly, but I've done it a few times. And you put that into that hole there, you then pull it over, and there's a groove it sits into and the hole it drops into. And what this is when the head is bent over in a certain way, there's a pin which is here which locks off the cog so it won't move the blade, and it'll only allow the blade to move once it's been opened up ready for use. So the next thing to do is assemble this onto this. Now in here there's a kit, and it's 4243 007 1300-A, and these are the parts that attach this to this. Right. Now in here there's can you see the space, this piece here? It's got a flat edge on it, and that also has a screw hole in the top, and that's to make the difference between top and bottom, because if you get that wrong it's a bit of a pain, because where it goes is in there. So you take the wedge piece of metal, block, I don't know, holder, whatever it's called, and put it in, and then you just give it a little tap. Check through there, and you'll see it's lined up in the centre, because you wind this through everything and it locks onto that. Now, with the kit comes what some people describe as a love letter. That's from Tarrell Fixes All, and it tells you exactly where everything goes and even the torque spec. Now I checked it out, and it has 8 Newton meters or 71 pound/inches, which is 5.9 pound-feet, which is just about markable on my little mini torque wrench. Yeah, this goes all the way up to 80 pound-feet, but I never thought I'd have to torque something just literally on the bottom. So let's get this assembled. Okay, assembly. I've just moved some stuff around. There's this washer, which has got 2 prongs sticking out of it, and this goes into this section. Sometimes they're a bit fiddly, and because there's a clip on them, and then they pop in like that. The next thing you have is this piece, and this is the gear head. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a metal strip that goes around and it pushes onto this piece here, and what that does is when the head is round like that way, so this piece is this, that is allowed to come out, which in turn locks that piece up, which locks up the blade, the gear in here, or the cog. And you see when you press it, as in bringing the handle round, that comes out and unlocks the cog. So right, the next thing I've got to do is put this in, and to make it easier, I put them in this way around, so I'm not trying to fight against that rod there, that piece there. Right, the next thing is a silver washer. Now it's got 2 sides ground down because it then sits in a recess. Next thing, and the easiest way to do it, is put them onto the shaft. You put 3 washers bowed that way onto the end there. You then put 3 washers that are bowed that way, so 3 one way, 3 the other. And then that goes through this section of the shaft and connects up with that little piece I placed in there earlier. Now where's me, why is that just now? Bits. Yeah, got places to put me things. I've got to put my tools somewhere. Back in a second. Yeah, found the bit. Now all I do is wind this in gently until it touches up, and it pulls this up, and as soon as it starts tightening up, I'll take it off, put my torque wrench onto it, and tighten it down to the correct torque level, which is 5.9 foot-pounds. To be honest with you, it isn't that much. It doesn't feel like that much. Now, you may think, oh, alright, that's it, it's fully torqued now, can't do anything else with it. You're wrong. Because on here there's a slot, and what that slot attends to is this little screw connecting up with the flat section of this that's gone through it. Now, what I'll do is I'll follow the instructions and back it off till that's horizontal. Right. And that line there means that that section of that pin is flat, which then allow this to go in. Now it says use a bit of Loctite in there, even though it's got a little bit of green muck around it, to lock it in. And this is only a T10. Where is it? A T10. Yeah, just wind it down. And this is supposed to have 2 Newton feet, so I basically just, yeah, that's it, fingers not fists. So now that will rotate around, and now you can see when it's in that position, that bar is horizontal. When I pull it around, it's much easier when you haven't got to, when you've got a con rod on it. There we go. See that bar? It is now away from the cog. So I've got one more thing to do. I'll just pull this all the way back round. So, wrong way. Go. Oh, there you go. I've got this to fit, and this goes around, fits, where is it? It fits on there like that, and if that does come loose, that stops that from all falling off. And there's 2 little bolts, copper slip them, Loctite them. This is Loctite 423. So I love this tray, it just catches stuff when I drop it. I'll tighten that one in. Put that on. Where's my head? You then got to pack it with grease, which I'll do later on, but then you've got a grease cap, and this little piece of plastic goes up and over the top of there. Now all I've got to do next is put the shaft onto it and assemble the cog, but I've done a video about that already, so I'm going to leave it as it is. To demonstrate what I was meaning about that bar, sorry, put it over it. To demonstrate what I was saying about that bar when this is around the other directions, see this is moving freely? Now all I've got to do is turn it around to the other side. So, oops, wrong way. It's much easier when you've got a shaft on this. But now, see, you can hear a click, 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 but it will only go, it won't go in one direction, which is the way the engine rotates. So that's what that little bar does when that part of the gear head is in that direction. So that's how to change the 145 degree gear housing on a Stihl pole trimmer head. And while I was making this video, it made me have a think, why did that piece get damaged? Now sometimes I've seen customers, they get the machine and the head is folded back, so the head's pointing towards them, which on a Stihl head and probably other models locks that cog. So when they start it up on the combi unit, the combi unit is set to rev high, so it automatically puts it under stress, and I'm wondering if that's what's causing it. So open the blades up so it's straight, then start it up, and you'll notice your blades automatically start. So that means that cog has been under stress, and it's probably what's caused it. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful, and see you next video, folks. Take care, bye.